Welcome to Sideline Theory. You are here with Brandon Cheatham and Michael Lane. We're back in this basement. We try
Still
to give
Brandon's
some vibes
basement.
in the background, a little more vibe than like the concrete wall.
I mean, this guy couldn't score 83 in a game, but
So
he's still cool to
yeah, so
have.
hopefully that's a little bit better easier on the eyes if you're watching this on YouTube.
Yeah.
But
Silent. And for those who don't know, we are not sports analysts, and we're giving our semi-professional opinions
from unprofessional distances, just a couple
still in
regular
Brandon's
guys.
basement.
Yeah, just a couple regular guys.
Yeah, regular Joes, average Joes. Jim, great movie.
Average
Do you know
Joe
that?
Schmoes.
Do you know that reference? Average Joe's Jim.
You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Yes, sir.
I like that.
Dude, you want to just jump right in?
Yeah.
Talk about just the spectacle that was the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah. So I got on the list here, just thoughts about that, maybe your favorite moment from the tournament. I have a favorite, not huge baseball guys on the podcast, but certainly when the stakes are high, I like to tune in. So I watch a few of these games all the way through, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my favorite moment last night had to be the bottom of the eighth. Bryce Harper, 1 on, 2 outs, just rails a homer, knocks it out of the park. It felt inevitable. It's like, okay, this is it. We're going to bring this full circle for the win. Obviously, that did not happen, but super cool moment where he really knocks it through. One of the stars on the U.S. team coming through in a moment that people expect him to come through. And also, played a very solid game on first as well. And then, I guess I'll allude to the fact that I'm still happy that at least a Brave got a championship with Acuna Jr. And, like I said, I think I was talking to you earlier, the semifinal game that the U.S. beat Dominican Republic to get into the championship, as a non-baseball guy, every single name in that batting lineup, just about every single name for DR, I knew. So, yeah, super impressive feat for the U.S. to get through to the championship game. A letdown on that didn't take it home, but yeah, like I said, happy that at least an Atlanta Brave got a championship.
Yeah, it's impressive that countries such as the DR, Venezuela, even Italy, like baseball is known as America's pastime, and so these countries who are caught up and surpassed America in different aspects, it's really cool to see and witness and watch and see the different cultural aspects that go into all of the game. One of the coolest moments to me, and was the Italy beating the U.S. It was just so out of the order, like it was so random because no one expected it, and so it was really one of the most shocking outcomes of the tournament to me. And then what compounded that was DeRosa, the manager, not knowing the rules of like who moves on, who doesn't move on.
Yeah.
Like that was, and then him being handicapped on like what pitching he can use because they're trying to save their arms for the MLB season. And so there's a lot of politicking and things that go into what he could do managerially. And so I found that super interesting. And I had the same thing of just, it was awesome that Ronald Acuna got to get a title.
I will say, like,
really
on
cool.
the pitching note, right, they were mentioning last night that these guys, I mean, because they are a part of MLB clubs, like, have to get authorization to pitch extra innings.
Yeah.
So Venezuela, like, they had to get authorized to, like, hey, can I pitch this many more pitches? Like the U.S. and me, I'm like, you're the Cubs, tell them no, right? It's Venezuela. But yeah, kind of an interesting nuance there for sure about that. But yeah, super cool spectacle all the way around. Also, obviously, always cool when the world is involved in things.
Yeah.
And it makes it nicer if the U.S. is competitive at least. So yeah, it was an interesting tournament, but fun to watch for the few games that I got to catch.
World Baseball Classic. And baseball, it's going to be interesting because then you had the controversy of the last pitch against U.S. than the DR. And so with baseball this year, you're going to have challenges. There's going to be some automated strike zone stuff. And so very curious to see how it looks with them taking the human aspect out of the sport and going technology. I think a lot of baseball people are trying to say, like, this is progressive moving there. I think there's some on both sides. Don't take the human aspect, and there's a reason we're not in like horses pulling buggies anymore. Like, we have cars.
Yep.
And so like the games and technology progresses. So I'm curious to see what baseball does because it has been on the uptick in popularity the last couple of years.
Yeah. I like it. I also love to see those mega contracts. That's just super cool, right? Make these guys
and the ones, the
trillionaires.
Shohei one where all they pay him is like $1 million. It's
Well, he's putting that right into DraftKings. So
or his
but yeah,
rookie or whatever.
World Baseball Classic, cool, really cool topic. But yeah, we're gonna move into something a little more familiar with us.
Golf.
Back to the NFL.
Oh yeah, NFL.
The National Fun League.
Hey.
So we've got a question that we posed for each other on this, and we're going to go ahead and get through it. But the question is, from top to bottom, the toughest division in the NFL, who do you think that is?
Well, this is coming off of, in lieu of some trades as well, free agent signings. Now that the landscape outside of the draft is pretty settled, we might have a Max Crosby trade here or there if he can pass a physical. And so when I think about the best division, you have – I'm just going to give you mine's the NFC North. NFC North is the best division. I think that top to bottom, the teams are the best. I think it's the per capita, I don't know if it's the 4 best quarterbacks, but I do think there's not a bad quarterback in the division. Interesting. I'm 32 years old. You're 32 years old. I was thinking about this and I was talking to my father, and I was like, man, I don't remember the last time the Green Bay Packers were bad. Like, I can't remember the Packers picking the top 5 in the draft since I've been alive. And so I looked it up, man. The Packers, they have not finished 4th in the division since the year 2005. And they didn't finish 4th before that for like another 10 years almost. So they've only finished 3rd in the division the last 21 years 5 times. Granted, that's because the Lions are in that division. But even then, they've only finished 3rd 5 times in the last 21 years. Because they've had Brett and Aaron and now Jordan.
The quarterback is always the guy.
And so in the division, they're always good. They're a good team. And the Lions are a top-tier roster. They were a quarter away from the Super Bowl 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago. 2 years ago, they had a great talent with Ben Johnson still calling the plays. Last year, you can make cases. It was just, it was a clunky year. Injuries and losing Ben Johnson. I think that they're going to rebound. The roster's still elite. The Bears, I'm super high on, especially Caleb. I am very high on the Chicago Bears. And then Kyler Murray, to me, has the most to gain this year in the terms of quarterback reputation. Kyler Murray is set up and teed up in this Kevin O'Connell Minnesota Vikings offense to have a prolific run. I also think that the Vikings just have one of the best home field advantages, home crowds in yeah. And it's and it's also what else is there to do in Minnesota besides go to the Mall of America, I guess. And so I'm sure that there's a ton of awesome things in Minnesota. But interesting, man. Kevin O'Connell the last 3 years before last year. So take out Brosman and McCarthy. The 3 years before that, he was top 6 in passing touchdowns and passing yards each of the last 3 years, Kevin O'Connell. And that's with Kirk, Daniel Jones, and not Daniel, but Kirk and Darnold.
Yeah.
And so, and even last year with all of that, the Vikings were 4-2 in that division. They swept the Lions, and they played every game close.
Kevin O'Connell's a wizard.
Per capita, I think that's the best division.
The Atlanta game when they signed Josh Dobbs 2 days prior to the game, and they beat us with Josh Dobbs at quarterback. So, maybe that's saying more about the Falcons. But, yeah, Kevin O'Connell, for me, and I think we're in agreement there, one of the more elite guys when it comes to helping quarterback play from a coaching standpoint.
That's me, bro. I got the NFC North. Best per capita division in the league.
So this will be super easy and very cool because I also have the NFC North as the best division in football.
And again, we don't talk about this before the pod.
Looking at the projected win totals based on DraftKings Sportsbooks as of a couple days ago, we got over/under set. The Bears at 9.5, Packers and Lions at 10.5, Vikings at 8.5. I would take the over on all of those teams. I would take the over on all 4 of them and feel comfortable. I agree with you. This is top to bottom. There's not a doormat. There seems to be a doormat in pretty much every other division, unless you're the NFC South, and then there's a few doormats. just competing to who can get closer to the house. But yeah, this is the most complete from team to team, where there's not a dud of a team inserted in there. A lot of that is based on the quarterback play and the projected quarterback production, but also some good defensive units as well. So, like I said, I'd take the over on all four of these teams. I'd be curious to know, put you on the spot. Do you have a winner picked for this division?
The Chicago Bears.
So you'd go Bears. I would take the Lions. That's who I'd take just day one as of right now, based on who's on the roster.
You still want them to trade for Max?
I think a trade for Max Crosby, it depends if you can get him for cheaper. I know they've got to make money work, right? And everyone hated my proposed trade of Jameson Williams because you go, oh, you don't have to. You could just do 2 firsts. Well, for them, they'd have to because the money doesn't work. I would still make the trade. Like, you get 2 dominant edges like that in Hutchinson and Max Crosby, why not try that out? So, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure they're going to even consider that move. I'm not sure if the Raiders are going to consider that move for a less steep asking price. But if I'm them, I'm at least giving them a call if I can make the money work. And I'm willing to lose the guys that I have to make the money work. Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson and Max Crosby across from each other. Good luck blocking. You can't double both those guys every play. So, I mean, you can, but you have 2 guys in a route.
Are there any other divisions that you thought of that were right there? I do think that very clearly this division does not have a floor as low as other divisions.
Yeah, 100%. I think, based on what I looked at, the only other division
I think the AFC.
I
think
you
can go NFC West.
Yeah, the NFC West, and that's more. I knew obviously that's more geared towards the top end of the conference because I think those 3 teams are going to be.
Well, you have high end coaching with McVay and Shanahan, and people are super high on McDonald.
So yeah, I mean, obviously
but the
Cardinals are the doormat.
Lower it.
Yeah, by a lot. But I think, and I put in my notes here, unless DJ Moore seems to be the missing piece in Buffalo, I think it's a pretty fair bet that the Super Bowl champion comes out of the NFC West on one of the 3 other teams. Part of that is the whole thing with Stafford.
That's what's called foreshadowing, kids.
But that's what
for 4 months.
That's
from
my
now.
opinion. So yeah, as of this point,
you think the NFC West is a better division than the AFC West? I think the AFC West is the better division with the Chiefs, the Chargers, and Broncos, especially the Broncos adding Waddle. I think it was a great trade for them. Because they gave up the 30th overall. They're not going to get somebody nearly as good as Jalen Waddle, who broke records his rookie year, and then they signed Tyreek after. And so I really like what the Broncos are doing. We both think the Broncos could have won the Super Bowl if Bo didn't get hurt. But the Raiders definitely bring that division down.
Yeah, but your point is not as far as the Cardinals bring the NFC West.
And I
would agree with that.
And the heights of the AFC West, to me, are granted, Seattle just won the Super Bowl. Yeah. And then you have McVay and Shanahan. But over there you have Sean Payton, Harbaugh, and obviously the Chiefs dynasty.
It's difficult to make a case against the Chiefs. That's what I'll say. But I think if I had to pick a Super Bowl champion today, it's the Rams. That's my pick. I've even seen the idea floated that they're going to go after A.J. Brown. Could you imagine? Could you imagine Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, A.J. Brown? It's like, who do we play in the slot? Right? But yeah, so that's kind of where I would lean just with the NFC West. But yeah, I think the Cardinals are a train wreck.
And we're both in agreement, NFC North, best division. I think there's going to be high-quality football coming out of the NFC North all next year.
I agree. Very excited to see, especially excited to see about Kyler Murray. And I think the projected next step that we both agree with Caleb Williams and that team will be fun to watch.
And Brandon already gave his Super Bowl pick, everybody. The Rams.
Will be fun to watch.
January Brandon.
Yep.
January of 2027 Brandon. I'm going to bring this up to you.
Man, that's going to be nice when you're like, hey, dude, you picked it right. All right, so we'll move into the next segment here. It's a continuation of a weekly segment we started. This is the last segment that we'll hit. I have a repeat team because I broke the rules the second week we did this and threw an NFC team in the mix. But yeah, Last time we'll hit it. There are some repeats just based on the number of teams in each conference.
And I'll be honest, I went off memory, so I'm probably giving you a few redos.
Perfect. Yeah. So
If I forgot about
if
an
you need me
NFC
to pick
team,
the Falcons to win a Super Bowl again, I'm fair to do it. So again, this is
I might have set you up negatively with
this
the
is a
Falcons.
Kiss, Marry, Kill spinoff of Super Bowl win, losing the first round top 5 pick on how you project the grouping of teams. Mike's going to give me 2 rounds of 3 from the NFC, and I'll give him the same from the AFC, 3 teams, and then get the ranking there. You want to kick us off? Or you want me to?
I'll go first. All right, man. Your 3 teams for win the Super Bowl, losing the first round, top 5 pick. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Boys. Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys. And the Minnesota Vikings.
Wow.
With Kyler Murray officially now.
All right, yeah. Here we
And
go.
Dak Prescott is apparently a top 6 quarterback.
Let's take the prototypical approach here. I stood on the desk and demanded that Dak be higher on the list. Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. Cowboys will win the Super Bowl this year.
That's a hysterical TikTok.
And then they'll lose. Then they'll lose a receiver because they're not going to tag him again.
Ooh,
they're going to win the Super Bowl. First round exit, the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
And we're going to go 3 for 3. Anytime we've proposed an NFC South team outside the Falcons, top 5 pick, they can have all the top 5 picks they want because they're not winning the division. Go Falcons, rise up. Your Tampa Bay Bucks, without Mike Evans, will be coming in around, I don't know, pick 3 or 4 in the next NFL draft following next year. All right, first 3 for you. We've got the Raiders. Dolphins. And then my repeat.
Oh, my gosh.
And then my repeat pick, the Jets.
Raiders, Dolphins, Jets?
Raiders, Dolphins, Jets.
I write them down. Holy. So top 5 pick, the Raiders.
Again, okay.
Top 5 pick, the Dolphins.
Okay.
Yep. Top 5 pick, the Jets.
Boom.
Right, next
You're probably right. You're probably right. But you
gotta
pick one.
Definitely top 5 pick, the Jets. I am 100% out on that franchise. My gosh.
Jets hater.
Dude, and I was not a big Aaron Glenn. Congratulations, like your team got hurt in Detroit, yet the defense still wasn't that. They're like, oh, he's doing okay with a beat up defense. And I think Dan Campbell is the culture to that team. It wasn't Aaron Glenn. So I just didn't understand the Aaron Glenn hype when he got the job. And so I
played there.
Top 5 pick, Jets. The Dolphins will lose in the first round.
Woo-hoo.
But the Dolphins will lose in the first round because I'm going to use this time to talk about it. Everybody, again, they just traded Jalen Waddle to the Denver Broncos, got their first round pick. They signed Malik Willis. I love what the Dolphins are doing with getting rid of their talent, eating them. They have $120+ million of dead cap, and they have a ton next year. So they're taking their medicine. They're doing it good. Why would you sign Malik Willis? Did Malik know about this when he signed? Did Malik know there was going to be a fire sale?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Like,
I don't know how much leverage he's got, though, because you're giving him a contract he
but
hasn't had.
Could he not have gone? Could he have been like, hey, I'll go to the Falcons. Hey, I'll go to the Vikings, if they Arizona even at this point. Bro, he's going there to be on a terrible team. And they're like, oh, we'll give you another year. If he pops off the second year, which they still have dead cap money, you're going to have to pay him. So
yeah.
What the Dolphins are doing to me makes no sense having Malik because I think Malik is good enough to give you enough to not get the number one pick. You'll get the 4th or 5th, and you'll get the 2nd or 3rd quarterback coming out versus your pick of any quarterback you want. So I just don't understand what the Dolphins are doing. They're going to lose in the first round because he signed Malik Willis. And again, I like Malik Willis. I like what the Dolphins are doing. I just don't like the two of them together.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only point, and I told you
and
this
people
earlier,
are starting to say that online now. And
it's like, hey, Malik Willis still gives you the ability to, with decent quarterback play, you can evaluate talent around them better.
What talent, though? They're trading all the talent.
Well, hopefully you're drafting some.
But they're trying to lose.
That's fair. Yeah. I don't know. If you take it from my grandfather, who's a diehard Dolphins fan, they've not known what they're doing in that ownership and GM group
Since Dan Marino.
Yeah, exactly. So what changes now? I don't know.
Raiders win the Super Bowl.
Raiders
That's all
to
I
the
got.
Super Bowl
All right.
without Mendoza playing. Interesting.
Okay. All right, here we go. I guess I know where this is going.
Oh yeah.
Your Los Angeles Rams.
Oh yeah.
My Chicago Bears.
Ooh.
And your Atlanta Falcons. Go ahead. You just picked the Rams to win the Super Bowl.
The Bears won a top 5 pick.
You love
the
Caleb
Bears
Williams.
won a top 5 pick.
Oh, what? Caleb breaks his leg or something?
But they're not going to get one. Stefanski can't do it. Atlanta's going to have a top 5 pick. We're going to take another tight end probably.
Oh, no.
And then
rise down.
Well, the top 5 pick is going to be from trading with the Bears because they're going to have a top 5 pick. The Falcons win the Super Bowl. Stafford gets hurt late in the season, ends my Super Bowl pick. It's null and void because of the injury, first-round exit, and that's how it rolls. So Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl, rise up, baby.
You're wild.
All right. Your last grouping here for all the marbles.
Tell me.
Your Joe Burrow-led Bengals. Your Cam Ward-led Titans. And Caleb Ramon's Steelers.
Oh, that's a good group.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going Bengals top 5 pick because the
okay.
defense is non-existent and Joe Burrow gets hurt if he looks at paper. I don't know. He's playing in a flag football tournament. That might be his next career because he is not going to get hurt. And so I'm going Bengals top 5 pick. The Steelers lose in the first round.
That's on par.
Because
but no Tomlin, so they get there.
Oh, true.
It's very Tomlin-esque.
And it's very McCarthy-esque.
That's fair.
So the same thing. Steelers lose in the first round, whether they have Aaron Rodgers or – I think Malik Willis could have gone – I think Kyler Murray should have gone to the Steelers too. But we have Steelers. Caleb is said that he would not want Kyler on the Steelers, but whatever, man. And then to win the Super Bowl, the Tennessee Titans. Titans in the new stadium winning the Super Bowl as they draft apparently Jeremiah Love.
You know why I like that, Mike?
Why?
Because that's what Cam Ward did right there.
Dude.
Make the U great again.
That's what, bro, we owe him.
It all started with Mr. Ward. So I like the pick.
Love that, man.
All right, bro. That was fun. The only note on that is Caleb kind of picky for a guy that they haven't done much in a little while.
All right. That was fun.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
We'll come up with some other fun segments.
Some spinoffs, of other games like that. I like it. So we'll jump into the next topic here.
The association.
NBA games. We're kind of keeping this general. I know we're catching a lot of different games. Our preference to watch people are different. So just want to give you a few minutes to talk about some recent games that you've seen.
Pause.
Yeah.
Victor Wembanyama. So on this podcast, I believe Victor Wembanyama is the best player in the world. Brandon Cheatham believes
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
SGA. So my thought process is, let me just go with me. Go back in time before you were born. In the early 80s, Michael Jordan is playing for the Chicago. He didn't win his first championship until year 7 or year 8. Commenters, you can let me know. Was he the best player in the league year 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 before he won a championship? Although the people who are winning those championships were Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. If you're the Celtics, knowing hindsight being 2020, would you have traded Larry Bird for a younger Michael Jordan? And was Michael the best player in the league back in those early 80s days, which he was on the Dream Team? Was he better than Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
See, so here's the difference that I think. And it's funny because you keep a different perspective based on the sport. Because in the NBA, you're willing to make the move and say, yes, he's the best, even though he hasn't beat the best. But Josh Allen ain't over Pat Mahomes because he can't beat him.
And he doesn't have any rings.
So until Victor
Well,
Victor doesn't either. So until he beats him, he can't be the man, right?
So you're saying Vic is Josh Allen in this scenario?
Sure, yeah.
But also
and
Mahomes'
it's a different conversation
talent
with Larry Bird and Michael Jordan because he did have championships. Larry Bird.
Okay. All right, I can see where you're going. To me though, we don't argue or disagree. Mahomes is better, and it's not just because of his rings. The stuff that we've seen him do is unbelievable. The stuff we see SGA do is believable. He just does the believable so well. Wemby does the improbable. He makes people look like they're sixth graders out there. And so Michael was the best in the world even in those early 80 days. He was. And if you ask the Celtics, hey, would you trade Larry Bird in 84 for Michael Jordan? Knowing what you knew, of course you're taking that. Even though Larry was winning the rings then. Magic was winning the rings then. To me, Wemby's the best player in the world. I understand SGA won the chip. I understand SGA broke Wilt's record of 20-plus points.
It was a nail biter the other night.
Wemby is the best player in the world. He is, bro. Kobe, again, in the early 2000s, Tim Duncan was winning the championships. Was he better than Kobe?
Well, no. The idea is that you'd always trade for the younger guy in pretty much any scenario in the NBA because it's a young man's game.
Okay.
So I'll give you that. And I've already conceded that I think Wemby's the most valuable piece to his franchise and any other for that matter because of his projection and the age. I just can't put you above the guy when the other guy won the most recent championship and is on track to arguably to also win another one. We'll see how that fans out and if Jay Williams comes back and see what happens with OKC. But until you cross the finish line and here, and one of my takes is the Spurs seem to have OKC's number this year, so maybe it's not too far out of reach. Once that happens, I'm fine to stamp it. But you got to dethrone the guy first. That's my only standpoint right now.
Yeah, I think in basketball it's different. I think that clearly to me Wembanyama can do things that no other human can do.
And I won't argue that. Yeah, SGA can't do some of the things that Wemby can do, but
I'm going to be too early rather than too late. I think he's the best player in the world. People are going to be on that 4 years from now that, oh, man, he's...
But have you seen Austin Reeves?
AR-15. He's the best at doinking free throws, bro. So I'm not going to let it go. I think Wemby's the best. I will argue with whatever. So games, SGA broke Wilt's 20-point-per-game record, a record that none of us knew existed until Shea got close to it. It's pretty good since he's a guard. And a lot of people aren't. Some people aren't in love with the game because it's a little foul baity. I don't think that he's doing it as much this year. Yeah. I just think he's kind of silky. And
yeah, he's smooth, man.
And he's clutch.
Oh yeah,
that was a great game. For me, what's the game for you? I got a couple more, but you hit some.
No, first game that I have is Lakers Nuggets. Great game, overtime game. I know last week I told you like the flow of the Lakers felt better without LeBron. I get the whole like he's important for playoff matchups. The more that I watch him lately, it feels a little fool's goldish to me. I really worry about matchups in the playoffs, depending on who they get paired up against, that Luka's the only guy who can consistently win a matchup. That's my
against
worry.
Who
in the
specifically?
West.
Who are you thinking about? Like if they matched up against?
I mean, really anyone in the West, honestly.
Yeah. So
it's more. Austin Reeves makes me nervous. I'm not sure he's a guy that you can like put the saddle on in the playoffs.
Here's my with the Lakers.
And the other night they win the overtime game by 2.
Yep.
Jamal Murray shot 1 for 14. So it's like, it took a very, and he's been pretty inconsistent all year too, but it just kind of makes me it blunts my feeling on like super high end that the Lakers can make a run in.
See, everybody was down on them a couple weeks ago. They're number 3 in the West. They have a bunch of tiebreakers. They have a game against Houston Wednesday or coming up to get another tiebreaker. I watched the Laker-Houston game, and I loved it, man. The Lakers were surging. They beat the Knicks, the Timberwolves, the Nuggets, Luka's last-second shot, LeBron diving on the court. And then with the Lakers beating Houston this past week, I had 3 takeaways. Before I listened to anything, this is Michael's thoughts as the game was happening. JJ Redick showed up and showed out. The defense that he played on KD was great. Just literally, bro, they're just doubling him the entire second half. You cross it, you're doubling you, and KD's not a true point, and so he had a backcourt violation. He had 6 turnovers. JJ was showing up. He drew up a inbounds play for Braun where they kicked it to Luka. Luke
Kennard.
Came and set a back screen on KD for Braun to get the flush. And so they're actually running plays for LeBron, not just my turn, your turn. I thought that was really cool. So JJ showed up. That was my first takeaway.
And quick, I'll just go ahead and eat my words because the Lakers also beat Houston about 35 minutes ago. Went final 124 to 116.
Who?
Lakers beat Houston.
Again? So, yeah, they own the tiebreaker.
And Braun went 13 for 14, 30 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Luka was 49 and 10.
And Luka is – my second was Luka is a closer. He's just elite. Skinny Luka is elite. I'm glad I picked them for my championship high. I'm high on the Lakers. I think that they have a lot of different things they can throw at people. And the third from the Lakers-Houston game, not the one that happened tonight, but the past one, DeAndre Ayton was a monster down low. He was blocking. He was playing good defense, getting tip backs, getting putbacks, and he just showed up and showed out. And so
8 for 10 tonight.
I'm really excited to see. I am super hopeful that we get a Spurs-Lakers second-round matchup, 2-3. I don't know who on the Spurs is going to really take Luka.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious to see, can 41-year-old highest IQ basketball try to solve Victor Wembanyama?
Well, okay, so I think part of my take is I'm a little nervous. I'm a Lakers fan. I'm a little nervous at people like being super bullish on them right now. But to your point, I also watched Luka carry the Mavs to unimaginable heights practically by himself. I know he had some contribution from other guys, but yeah. So I guess, I don't know. Maybe an easy ledge to talk me off of. You're adding a guy like him next to LeBron, and maybe you don't even really need to lean heavily on Austin Reeves because it seems like LeBron can still hit a switch at his age. And I certainly will do that in the playoffs. We typically get a different guy in the playoffs. Yeah. I think you can win me over there.
I want to talk about the Hawks a little bit, not just because we went, but the 10-game win streak, longest in the league. Jalen, Dyson playing off each other really, really well. I'm excited for them. They have, at the end of March, they have 2 games against Boston and at Detroit, so we'll get to learn a lot about them. And April 12th, last day of the NBA year, Atlanta, Miami could be for a non-play-in spot. Both teams surging, doing pretty well. Huge playoff implications, Atlanta, Miami, April 12th. I like what Atlanta's doing, even though a lot of their wins have come against teams that are actively almost tanking, but wins are wins.
Still got to win them.
So
I like that.
Association's good.
The other game that I highlighted, just quick before we move on, Spurs Clippers.
Ooh.
I think that's why I'm starting to trickle your way a little bit. I haven't watched a ton of Wemby outside of just highlights and looking at stat lines, but I watched that full game. Very impressive on the defensive side of it. Not as high a scoring output by any means, but when you go head to head with an organization like the Clippers and you win it, I think it does wonders for me, at least just mentally, of the potential of the team.
Yeah,
because they are so young and inexperienced when you're comparing them to guys like the Lakers and the Clippers with Kawhi, and so I think wins like that towards the end of the year very valuable for the Spurs. I loved Wemby's comments on Defensive Player of the Year and MVP, where he's like, "Yeah, I'm taking care of my body so I can get ready for the stretch run to hopefully win Defensive Player of the Year and MVP." I love that.
Calling a shot.
Yeah, that feels so Kobe-ish.
His mentality. I mean, he's been a pro. He's been a pro since he was 14.
Yeah.
And so he's definitely.
So listen,
about
man.
it.
If he starts coming out and getting a little bit more in your face with it, I like that. I really like that.
Yes, sir.
Pretty much in any sport, but that's one of the things I loved about Kobe. Because once he says it, you got to back it up.
Mm-hmm.
And Wemby's obviously got the talent to do that. So yeah, if you get a little more aggressive with how you're coming into these things, I think that'll trend my opinion a little higher for him that way. I will say can't miss more than 3 more games to be eligible for those awards. So he's still, 3's a lot based on the remainder of the season, but not unheard of for Wemby in his career.
Oh, yeah.
But like I said, I love the confidence of him to make the statements and kind of just be matter of fact about it. So I'm coming around to the fact, I really am coming around to the fact that the Spurs could make a deep playoff push based on the other teams in the West and some of the mismatches that Wemby he's like an extra guy on defense basically. Back to the OKC point, they seem to have their number. They won the series against them for the regular season. Again, you're going to have to beat them for me to really like cross the line there. But it seems like if it's going to line up to be the year,
Yeah.
go ahead and do it now,
100%.
right? And then the only other note is like the Nuggets seem so lax. It's like almost frustrating to watch them play.
I think you take on the temperament of your superstar, and that to me that's Yoke. Yoke is is he competitive? Sure, but he's also he likes his horses as much as he likes basketball.
And a lot of guys at the highest levels of sport, not even at the highest levels, but just at higher levels of sport, cannot compete with that temperament. He is not one of those. He certainly can. I mean, he's not worried about basketball at all. He's still one of the best in the world, arguably the best for some people. But yeah, I think I'm beginning to come to your side on that too. Like a lot of these guys on the roster for the Nuggets, they can't play that way, and if they do, it's just like it almost feels like we're forcing them to play basketball some nights that I watch them.
Yeah.
So not super high hopes there, but that's all I got on the NBA.
Yeah.
I know we're
association's kicking good.
Yeah, trying to keep it on track here with time. We'll jump into the next segment. We've got March Madness.
Future association members.
March Madness. We're going to focus on the men's tournament. Yeah, let me know who you got. Any upsets?
All right, man. My Final Four for the March Madness starts tomorrow. I got the Yukon Huskies coming out of their region. Houston, Arizona, and Michigan. So I think that's 2 1s with Arizona, Michigan, and then 2 2s in Houston and UConn. Yep. I got Arizona winning it all. To me, they're in a hard conference. The Big 12, like they're out of the Pac-12. They're in the Big 12, and so they have a deep, tough conference. So they're battle tested, man. They beat Florida already this year. They beat Houston. They beat Iowa State, who's a 2 seed in this conference twice already. And so I have UConn, Houston, Arizona, Michigan, with Arizona winning it all. An upset in the first round that I'm too scared to pick because it is March Madness. There's just craziness that happens all the time. An upset I'm too scared to pick, but I think could happen. Kennesaw State over Gonzaga.
Woo!
Kennesaw State over Gonzaga. Kennesaw State overall, just as a program and all athletics, is doing really well just because there's a ton of athletes in this Georgia region and the state of Georgia and then the South region down here. Simeon Scott for K-State averages 20-plus a game. Could pop off. The spread is 21.5. I would definitely take Kennesaw State to cover. A team that I'm highly interested in that's not being super talked about is Virginia. Great culture. They played a couple different times this year, and I've gotten to watch them. They're just a very solid team. I don't know if they can defeat the elite of the elites, but I am curious to see how Virginia does. And then a couple games in the round of 32 I'm excited to watch. Vandy versus Nebraska. Nebraska held out, was undefeated for a long time this year. And then Vandy was just in the SEC final. Vandy, talk about a program on the rise across all sports. And then St. John's, Kansas. Patino versus Bill Self. The first college basketball game I really remember watching was Mario Chalmers' Kansas team beating D. Rose's Memphis team. And so I think it's going to be an interesting battle. And then obviously you have I think it's Peterson from Kansas, who is everyone's projecting number one, but has a lot of questions about. So I'm very curious to see St. John's, Kansas. But that's my pick, man. I'm going Arizona.
Wow. Okay, love that. I'll jump into my bracket, and I'll let you know. I'm going to follow similar to Mike's outline just so we can keep it kind of aligned here. Final Four. The Yukon Huskies.
We don't talk about this.
Houston.
No! Dude, don't tell me.
Purdue.
Oh.
Michigan.
Oh.
That's my Final Four. for a lot of the same
So-
reasons. UConn's a culture pick.
The
Houston,
one
some
that we
lotteries.
disagree on is the one I have winning the chip.
Purdue, I think, rides the wave of winning the Big Ten and beating Michigan. And, yeah, I think, that does a lot. Did you give your pick for the overall bracket as well?
Yeah, Arizona.
So, yeah, I think Purdue rides the wave, gets back. But I think Michigan outlasts Houston in a championship game to beat them. So that's who I've got in the tournament. Yeah, funny that we almost had identical Final Fours and a pick to win it. First round upset, very interested in High Point over Wisconsin.
Oh, my gosh. Where is High Point at?
High Point is, let me just confirm,
Yeah.
I believe it's North Carolina.
I
should know
Good
this.
basketball in Carolina.
Yeah, I should know this because
No, you
I
shouldn't know
lived
this. Who
up
the
I lived in Charlotte for a year.
No one should know where High Point is.
Yeah. So High Point, well, it's the city in North Carolina. But that is the team that I've got on upset alert. High Point 30-4. They're riding a 14-game winning streak. I think Wisconsin's got a chance to overlook them based on them, obviously being a small school. But yeah, 30-4. You don't do that just by luck, regardless of who you're playing. You got to have some level of consistency there. So that's my upset pick for the
first round.
First round.
They're too scared. Did you pick that?
Yes.
Oh,
that is a pick. That is a finalized pick. Two matchups that I anticipate to see in the round of 32: VCU at Illinois.
Ooh.
VCU plays North Carolina. Lost their top player to injury late in the season. So I think VCU is going to be a pick that most people are, loading up on to go a little further than expected. We'll see what happens against Illinois, but very interested to see that pick. And then also another round of 32 that I anticipate to see and interested in watching is Duke OSU. For the proponent, and I know OSU's
just hoping
been picked
that Ohio State loses by 800.
So I know Ohio State's been picked to maybe they could cause some trouble for Duke. But yeah, I'm very interested to watch Ohio State hopefully lose by 50.
Ohio State used to be good at basketball. Greg Odom.
Yeah. Aaron Kraft, point guard. They made a little run in the tournament. So yeah, very interested to see Duke.
What's a team that you're interested
off
in?
the floor?
Not a high end, a medium-ish team that you're intrigued to watch.
Very intrigued to watch Arkansas.
Ooh.
Very intrigued.
SEC champ Arkansas.
Mainly based on the fact that Darius Acuff Jr. has been touted, recently in the media with being the best guard that Calipari's ever coached.
Okay.
So and he's
D.
been
Rose.
hurt. Yeah, he's been hurt. So it's he's also getting, you're getting 80%, 85, 90% of him, which obviously is incredible. Projected lottery pick just with that. And if this guy's telling us that's he's maybe the best guard he's ever coached, yeah, I'm very intrigued to see that. Maybe not a full team effort there, but if you've got a player like that, I think can certainly elevate you and maybe even win a few games that people don't have you pick to win. And because of my High Point upset pick, they get them in the round of 32.
Ooh.
So should be able to take care of business there. But yeah, I do have them, I think, ending at Purdue, that Purdue matchup. But we'll see. Cool. Interested to see that pick, though. Just like I said, based on the news of Calipari saying potentially the best guard he's ever coached.
Yeah, you're going Michigan. I'm going Arizona.
Yep. We'll jump into our last segment here, Athletic Feat of the Week.
Into the pod.
What you got?
Athletic Feat of the Week. The WNBA and the CBA, they've reached an agreement.
Wow.
I don't know if it's ratified yet, but I think the WNBA, the players have to ratify it. I think it's a feat because the players' average is going to go up from $100K to $600K.
Sheesh.
That's the annual average salary. They're going up 6 times. And then the cap space for teams is going from $1.5 million to $7 million. And so that's a huge win for the players of the WNBA, which has gained a ton of popularity the last couple of years. And I'm hopeful that Caitlin Clark can stay healthy, make the playoffs, and we get to see her in WNBA games that matter. So that was a huge athletic feat of the week. And it just got me thinking, I want you to answer, but my favorite women's college basketball player of all time was Maya Moore. And I think she's the best women's player of all time. Her career was cut short because she was advocacy work that got somebody out of prison, then married the guy, now they have a kid. And so, but she went to Collins Hill, which is right up the road. She was 125-3 with 3 straight chips, Gatorade Player of the Year, all this and the other. Went to UConn, led them to 90 straight wins, which is a record. 2-time champ there, leads the UConn women, who are undefeated now going into the tournament this year in points all time. And she has 4 WNBA chips with the Minnesota Lynx, I believe, and took them from worst to immediate dynasty. Like, she's just a crazy winner.
Yeah, see here, 4-time All-American and 2-time Player of the Year.
Yeah, she's nuts.
It's absurd to win it once. You're the Player of the Year twice in 4 years.
To me, Maya Moore is the best winning women's college basketball player ever. And so, Athletic Feed of the Week, WNBA, CBA, love it.
Awesome. Athletic Feed of the Week. I'm going with Daniel Palencia.
Ooh.
Venezuela's closer in the 9th inning.
Yeah.
Made, I think, a statement for the Cubs, who was the club that he plays for in the MLB. Closed out the championship for Venezuela with a perfect 9th inning. 3rd save of the tournament. Ends it on a strikeout. This guy's not an all-star in the MLB. So it's pretty cool to see just that level of performance against guys on the U.S. side that are like premier players in the MLB. And just cool, like you mentioned, for Venezuela. It's like, hey, the world is, making a stand here. But I imagine it means a lot more for those guys than ours. That's just kind of the American in me. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but it's just pretty cool to see a guy that's not a front runner or an expected favorite come through in a huge moment, even if it is at the expense of the U.S. Losing a championship game in the World Baseball Classic. But Daniel Palencia,
love it.
Huge Athletic Feed of the Week.
Well, we might need to do an emergency pod Saturday because get to watch the GOAT play flag football.
Ooh,
Tom Brady.
Wow.
Trying his audition for the 2028 Olympic team. Saturday at 4 p.m., bro.
Yeah. Mike might do an episode by himself on Saturday about Tom Brady. But, yeah, appreciate you guys joining us.
Under 47 minutes, bro.
Twice. 2 back-to-back. We're going to try to keep these shorter so you guys can get through them. But we appreciate you tuning in, and we will catch you next week.
Sideline Theory.
See you guys.